Hello, hello, hello everybody, and welcome to Dr. V. In this video, we will be talking about how to never run out of topics. Now, you might be watching this video for a variety of reasons. Perhaps you don't know what to talk about with your girlfriend or boyfriend, or maybe just with a colleague, or with somebody who you work with. Or maybe it's just a stranger on the street which you find attractive and you don't know where to begin. So I've got good news for you. Yes, it is possible to not run out of topics to talk about. But you're wondering, what are they? And this is exactly what the video is for. Prior to going into the content, be sure to subscribe, hit that notifications bell, and like this video. Because, you know what? We are gonna be doing life hacks for quite a while now. And for a lot of weeks in the future. So you might as well subscribe now. So you stay up to date with the most recent videos. So, whenever we have a conversation, usually what we tend to do is to walk up and say, "Hi." Person replies, "Hi." Then we say, "How are you?" "Good." "And you?" "Good." How's your family doing?" "Good." "How's yours?" "Good." "How's your dog doing?" "Good." "How's your cat?" "Oh, she's fine." And that's it. That's where it stops. Now, I'll tell you the reason. The reason conversations stop like this is because they're not interesting. They're not special. They're monotone. They're focusing on stereotypical questions that we use in our everyday lives. How are you? What do you mean, how am I? I'm good. I'm alive. I'm in front of you. I want to talk about something interesting with you. Answering how are you is not interesting for me. Unless I won the Nobel Prize or won some championship or I'm leaving tomorrow to Alaska, how are you isn't gonna elicit any strong, interesting emotions from me. So let's say that you are talking to me. One thing which you can say is, first of all, "Hi, how are you doing? Good, thanks, you good?" And afterwards, after we got all that, normal, regular stuff out of the way, ask a question such as, "What has been the most interesting part of your week so far?" Now you see, this question, it opens up the world of many possibilities. It opens up the scope of your conversation to all the activities that the person did this week. And don't ask, "What is your best activity or your most favorite one this year?" It's unlikely that unless that person is a good storyteller, they'll remember their best event this year and tell it to you. So a week is a good range. So you walk up and say, "Well, hey man, tell me more about what was the coolest, most interesting part of your week." And then your friend or colleague, they'll open up to you and they'll tell you something that was, unordinary, that is worth a discussion, that elicits interesting emotions and further, a story plot, which has a story plot. And it is not limited to formality. It's not limited to the stereotypical things we talk about, like the weather. It's actually something that changes with every week. If you ask me what was my most interesting part of this week, I'll tell you that I saw a huge turtle. I was walking in the park the other day, and, it was getting dark, it was the twilight, and I looked down, and there's like a turtle this big. And it's so slow. It was moving somewhere, but it just turned its head and it was walking like so slowly, and It had a very interesting design on the shell too. It was a beautiful color. And that was the first time I saw a turtle in that park. And now I know the place, so I can, visit it next time. That's something what was interesting this week. And I have a ton other interesting things which, of course, I'd need to think about a little more. But this is a very good conversation starter. And you may also... There's a variety of other questions you can ask which are similar in this nature. Don't ask the regular questions. Don't ask how are you, don't ask what do you plan to do. Ask about something personal to the person. Because that's what matters to all of us. We love talking about ourselves. We love talking about family. So ask them about their family. Ask them about something that personally and uniquely connects with their life. For example, how did your dog's veterinary appointment go? Or how were your Canada Day celebrations in, let's say, Keswick, at your cottage? And then they'll tell you about it. And then you'll have some other points which you can comment about. And this is how a conversation goes. You begin with an invitation so that the person tells you something interesting. And then you begin adding on to what has already been said. You either make a comment, you either make a connection with yourself, or you just react. Or you don't have to do anything at all, just, listen and remember. And if you can recall whatever part of the conversation you're having right now in a future conversation, there you go, you have a conversation starter again. Oh hey, remember how last week I asked you about your dog? So how's its recovery going? What type of food are you giving it? Sort of like these follow-up questions. So you're essentially building an arsenal, a huge bank of questions, as like the more conversations you have. And my friends, worst case scenario, as always, you're not gonna have anything to talk about. Because this is what we fear. We fear that awkwardness. We feel that moment when it's just, yeah, man. Yeah. And that's it. And you stop there. Well, in reality, this can be both beneficial and non-beneficial depending on the person. But silence is actually a very powerful thing. And I bet you've heard the saying that silence is more powerful than a million words, or some of that jazz. And it's true. People who are good friends, very good friends, people who were born together, who lived, who were raised together, you don't necessarily have to talk all the time. You may talk a bit, and then spend time in silence. And silence may be a universal understanding between the two of you. It's not a bad thing. Just maybe that you're thinking of what you want to say next. Maybe you're just extending the conversation to more than just a few, back and forth convos here and there. And it really marks your presence. Because both you and the other person, both of you are in silence. And both of you understand each other. This is an entirely new level of understanding. So if you have nothing to say, or if you just feel the need to not talk, it's absolutely fine. But if it leads to a very, very awkward situation for you, and if you don't like silence, then, just say something good, say that you have to go, and leave, and walk away. If this is at the end of a day, a long busy day, and you're out with your colleague and work topics for now, tell him to say hi to his family, or to her family, and leave. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up join our community by subscribing, and be sure to talk to as many people as you can, because ultimately, in this case, practice makes perfect. Until next time, my friends.